Okay, in the news. In the news is a real quick one. I was just flicking through the news today on the Daily Mail website, and they had, actually for a change, this was not the Daily Mail being stupid. This was the Daily Mail reader being stupid. Daily Mail readers only lag slightly behind the Daily Mail for being stupid. But on this occasion, he elevated himself above them, this particular commenter in the comments section of the Daily Mail. This was a story about how a study has been done using BMI measurements, height and weight.
Okay.
And it's basically, they basically measured a whole bunch of kids. I think lots of kids, maybe all kids, I don't know. Maybe all kids have been measured in some way. It sounds a little bit kind
proportion.
A big proportion of kids. And what they discovered was that a big proportion of those kids were proportioned big. And what was very interesting, or I say interesting, perhaps obvious, who knows, was there was a real north-south divide. So you had...
I'm assuming this is now just based in the UK.
Yeah, this was a UK study. So they concluded that, I think it was overall a third of all kids are either overweight or obese. Mm-hmm. I mean, the numbers were just horrific. So yeah, they measured all these kids, and they discovered that, on average, loads of them are too heavy. What they did discover, though, that was the greater percentage of heavy kids were in the north, or at least in areas that, I mean, it was north-south looking at the map, but it was also kind of... it was poverty driven was the conclusion, because there were some areas of the north that are obviously a bit more affluent than others, and those areas did okay. Anyway, that was a study, and it was, whatever, it was what it was. Who's surprised? Kids nowadays eat too much, or eat too much calories and don't burn enough off, and eat too much sugar, and parents don't care. Blah blah blah. We know all that. Almost wasn't even news. What was interesting was in the comments. I knew it was going to happen. In the comments, somebody types in BMI, they're using BMI. What a load of rubbish. Do they not know that if you're a rugby player, you're going to have a BMI that says you're obese when you're not? You're just, okay, mate, these are 6-year-old, 7-year-olds. This study has not been skewed by a monstrous amount of
professional 6-year-old rugby players.
Exactly. What a complete idiot. Everyone moans about BMI. This is exactly where BMI works. If you take 1,000 kids and you see how tall they are, and you see how heavy they are, and you look at the results, and you go, what the heck? You have 1,000 kids where a lot of them are fat. You do not have the next England rugby team. That's not what's happened there. You have not got a bunch of little jacked 7-year-olds running around skewing the data.
That'd be so cool to see.
So I was reading the comments thinking, someone's going to say rugby player. And do you know what? It's never a rugby player. Anyone that complains about BMI and mentions, well, rugby players and bodybuilders, it's never a rugby player, because a rugby player and a bodybuilder
don't care.
They're not looking in them. They're not going to the doctors and being told, oh, your BMI is a bit wonky. For example, if I went to my doctor's and he said, oh, by the way, your BMI is a bit wonky. Okay, mate, whatever, cool. Yeah, good, fine, thanks for that tip. As you're resting your gut on your desk last time I saw him. And I just go home. I don't care about it. But what does seem to happen is that some people go to get their BMI. They're told, oh, you're a little bit overweight. And rather than thinking, actually, that's a good point, because I looked in the mirror this morning and I did look a little bit bouncy. They go, well, actually, the BMI is flawed because rugby players and bodybuilders, blah, but not you, mate, not you. BMI is widely hated in the fitness industry. I seem to be the only person, like a lone voice, saying, leave it alone. As a population metric, it's perfect. It works. In fact, even forget the kids thing. If you go to, I don't know, if you tell me that the average BMI in a town is higher than another town, that's a town that's got a diet exercise issue going on there. That is not a town where there's just a monstrous amount of
rugby players.
I mean, mind boggles. Stupidity, some people. Anyway.
Or the other way around, and it's a town of gymnastics.
Gymnasts. A town of gymnasts. I don't know if that
ballet,
exists.
Okay, ballet dancers.
I think we should move to either of them. Is the only thing that I conclude from that. If there is a town, if you live in a town out there that's populated only by gymnasts and ballerinas, just for YouTubing purposes, we could do all sorts of challenges, couldn't we?
Okay.
I worked out with a ballerina. I worked out with another ballerina. And then, we move on. I worked out with a gymnast. Okay. Where were we?